Kind of look good for the radio. Come down here. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to the St. Patrick's Day edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, America's longest running daily radio show about real estate. We are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week, here live at 5 p.m., coming at you 5 different ways. What 5 ways are there? That's on the AM channel on 1470, on Money Talk Radio, WWNN. On the FM dial at FM 96.9, 95.3, also part of the WWNN network. And also on the apps that you can download onto your portable device, your phones, your tablets. All you have to do is download one of them, the iHeartRadio app, very popular one, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app, getting big. All of these apps allow you to access WWNN online, take it with you. Tune in at 5 p.m., listen to the Real Estate Show 5 days a week. That's the 4th way. And the 5th way, you can not only hear us, but you can see us live on our Facebook page. Yes, the Real Estate Show has a Facebook Live. All you have to do is go to Facebook, whether you have an account or not with Facebook. It's facebook.com/The Real Estate Show, all one word, The Real Estate Show. And then you can see us as you hear us, as you learn from us all about real estate. And we got a great show for you today here. We are on our midweek report to midday. We're at the middle of the week, the proverbial hump day on St. Patrick's Day. And a lot going on here in the marketplace. I just want to give you a taste for just some of the real estate headlines. Well, first of all, of course, you probably heard when we were tuning into the pre-show that the IRS has now extended the deadline, 2nd year in a row, that they moved the April 15th deadline out now to May 17th, a month from now. So that's a good thing. We're seeing over 2,000 organizations have now written, contacted, text, click, whatever, called President Biden to extend the national eviction moratorium. I think some of them aren't completely aware that a lot of it has already been extended. The overall ban was set to expire in 2 weeks, March 31st. Many of the government agencies have now and already have extended it out to June 30th. I anticipate that a lot of the lenders, while not required to, will comply. They don't want to be seen as the heartless, cruel, bad guys out there that are going to foreclose on those folks when we're in the middle of just announcing the latest rescue package for the, I'll say, very strong but probably fragile economy here. So that's something that's interesting. We might come back then and talk about that, about which organizations and how they're going about this. We might talk a little bit about why housing may be reaching a turning point. And this is what I want you to realize, is that we have a very hot real estate market, and it's everywhere. It's all across the country from coast to coast. The market is hot, demand is high, money is in the marketplace, and supply, well, it's low. And you know what happens when the supply is not enough to supply the demand? Then what do we have? We have rising prices, and we've been seeing that, and in the form of appreciation for the real estate market. All good if you're in real estate. Remember my comment? Everyone is in real estate. The question really is, are you in real estate? That means you're the owner of your own home or of rental properties or commercial properties, which you generate and reap the benefits of being in real estate. The rent checks, the tax advantages, and the equity buildup, the appreciation. Or are you just on real estate? And on the real estate people are the ones paying those rent checks. Maybe they're writing rent checks every single month right out of their checkbooks or their ACH online payments. Maybe they're going to work and their labor is paying the rent for the commercial space that they're at. But you're either in real estate or you're on real estate, but we all are touched by real estate, or we're all touching real estate at some point in time, whether it's ours or someone else's. And that's why it's important. And so when you have this rising, the benefit right now is rising for those people who are in real estate. But as the price continues to rise, we have a new problem, which is affordability, the ability for new home buyers to buy properties, which is why, we talk about the down payment assistance that we have. We talk about the first-time home buyer programs that we have, and all of this information that you definitely want to be learning about here. Now, I'm going to give out a phone number. I'm going to give out two phone numbers in just a second. The first one, which is our text line. Our smart text line is where I will tell you some keywords, and if you want to get more information about the down payment assistance, you want to text DPA to this number. If you want to get information about the first-time home buyers, then type the word path home, and that's our path to home ownership, especially for first-time homeowners. Then we have other words like equity or credit that will get you information that we provide not only in our daily radio shows, but also in our workshops. This week, we've already had our Equity Accelerator workshop on Monday night. We had our credit workshop on Tuesday night. And tomorrow night, we have our university series again. And we also have the return of the big round table. So if you want to attend the big round table, then you want to text big table to 561-861-2366. Any one of those keywords I gave, put this phone number into your phone, because this is where you want to be able to text 561-861-2366. And I would be remiss to remind you that the Real Estate Show is also looking for another intern. This is an opportunity for you to join the team here, get an inside peek at what we do in the real estate world, learn more about real estate firsthand, at the same time help us. And what we're looking for is for a social media marketer, someone with creative design skills, content strategy skills, that if you're good at social media and you want to learn more about real estate, then text the word intern to 561-861-2366. We're looking for you, if that's you that we're talking about. Now, the other number I'm going to give you is our toll-free 800 number, that if you have comments, questions, anything, you can also call us at 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. And we look forward to talking to you when it's one-on-one. There's never a cost, never an obligation. This show here, our goal, our mission here is to enable more Americans to own a piece of the American dream. We want you to. And that's why this week, we started out the week on Monday talking about our concept of the week, which is landlording, why you should consider if landlording is right for you. Now, I can tell you that landlording, if you do it right, the automatic landlord way, that's why our website, where we also show the Real Estate Show at automaticlandlord.com, we talk about the automatic landlord process. And we want to teach more people the hassle-free way to be more profitable and enjoy the benefits of real estate, from its perpetual income, never-ending income, and never-ending and growing income over time if you are a landlord, the growth in the value of your assets as a landlord, and the ability to create income that is not tied to the dollars and the hours that you spend earning the dollars every single day. So back to the headline, why housing may be reaching a turning point. I was talking about the supply and the demand, which is causing prices to rise. And if you've been paying any attention to the news, you've noticed also that the last 2 weeks we've seen interest rates rising again. And even though, another update, the Fed came out today and announced they're trying to allay the fears of the marketplace. They came out and said that they were not going to raise their interest rates. So what you're seeing is the supply and demand for money at the banks, and there is a large demand for housing. Therefore, there's a large demand for mortgages, and that's why interest rates have risen for a while. In addition, of course, to the Treasury yields. So the Fed now says that they're keeping interest rates low, and so this could have an impact on some of your decisions. In fact, I want to tell you a little story today. I was presenting the automatic landlord debt solution and sharing that with a group of professionals, realtors, financial planners, and this was a private Zoom meeting where I was showing them how the automatic landlord debt solution, this is how you can pay off your debt faster than any way else out there, bar none. I am 100% certain of that. And when we were talking about whether now was a good time to get into the marketplace, and my question was for one of the attendees in our meeting was, is this a short-term decision or is this a long-term decision? In other words, am I buying real estate for today to sell tomorrow? Then, it may be a more careful decision that you have to make, because just today in today's marketplace, there's so many crazy things going on. We're in the middle of a pandemic, we're in the middle of very high unemployment, and who knows what will happen next, whether the numbers for the number of deaths and infections surges again, whether the number plateaus. All of these things have these short-term effects. But I will tell you this: 5 years from now, real estate will be worth more than it is today. 10 years from now, it'll definitely be worth more than it is today. So if I was buying real estate for the intermediate to long term, then here's the idea. The tide raises all ships. In other words, that if the market goes up and someone says, well, I'm thinking of buying now or sometime in the next 5 years, I would say that if you can, buy now. And this is why. Because in 5 years from now, as I mentioned, the value of properties will go up. And so if you're saving up to buy in 5 years, you're gonna have to save up more if you wait 5 years, because you're gonna be looking at those. An example, in Naples, Florida, beautiful retirement area, very, very high class. And 10 years ago, you could have bought a nice place there in the $500s to $600,000. Beautiful place. It's a stately estate. And then when the market went down, those properties fell to $300,000-$400,000. They lost value temporarily. Today, that same place is worth over 800, almost bumping $1 million for in the same area. So had someone waited, they could be retiring today in a better market, but they would have to be chasing up the value. They'd have to put more money down. They'd have to have saved more money, and they'll pay more. Think of this as a different alternative. They could have bought the place back then, even if they weren't ready to retire. Maybe they would have bought something more modest even and made a rental property out of it. Let somebody else live in it, but mark their place, hold their value in the marketplace. So when Florida goes up 10 years later and it's now time to retire, whether they want to retire into that house or they want to sell that house now worth a lot more, the savings were created for them through their ownership of real estate, and then they'll have to come up with less money in order to buy their dream house at that point. So just a thought, a very interesting thought, and especially now as we're seeing interest rates and home prices get to a certain point where it makes affordability, and maybe some folks who had thought that they might want to retire to Florida might not be able to anymore because they didn't take that advice 5 years ago, for example. So we talked about the feds, we talked about the housing. I want to talk about the housing starts when we come back. I want to talk about mortgage refinance demand when we come back. And then I want to talk a little bit more about some of the updates for the housing relief. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here on our St. Patrick's Day midweek edition of the Real Estate Show. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner, and we will be right back. Mr. Keebert, we got Pittsburgh in the house. How are you doing, Rich? We got Felipe in the house from Northern California. So we now officially have it coast to coast, from Florida to the Northeast to way out west. So how's everybody doing today on this fine St. Patrick's Day? Mr. O'Keebert, Mr. O. Vasquez. I told someone that I was from the Brazilian part of Ireland. So it's been an exciting day in the news too, huh? So the IRS extended. I have a feeling, of course, that all of the extensions are going to go at least out until June, at least. But the question is, and it really depends on, well, a number of things, whether we're going to go out to September. Hey, Marcelo and Valentino are on the line. So now we're in Brazil. So how do you like that? So we are in North America and South America. We have now validated our worldwide status of the worldwide edition of the Real Estate Show. So doing well, Felipe, doing well. Maybe we'll see you tonight on the on our mastermind call. That's tonight. Now, this is not open to the open public. This is to our private clients. So anyway, we're coming back on. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us here, you're listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate, America's longest running daily radio show about real estate. And we are here on our St. Patrick's Day edition of The Real Estate Show on our midweek report, catching up on the news. And we already covered a number of different topics. But the next one that I wanted to cover is housing starts. Now, this is an interesting one, you see, because housing starts are very important for the inventory situation. Inventory is definitely behind the curve when it comes to the supply. And we've been having very optimistic building starts, and the numbers have been very good and strong. And I know that the builders want to build, but when interest rates start to go up and the affordability starts to go up, in fact, you know, we've had a number of different things. So for all of you out there that say that there isn't any inflation, and remember, the reason that the economy right now is very optimistic, the reason that the stock market is very optimistic, is because there's a rumor out there that there's about $1.9 trillion getting ready to be dumped into the marketplace. And so that leads to obviously an accelerator. You know, it's like putting gasoline on the fire of the economy right now. And so the issue that now arises is because of the demand for housing, because of the demand for construction, lumber prices, for example, have been going very, very high. The cost of drywall has been going very high. And of course, you know, the metals and all of the supplies that go into housing. And so as a result of the costs going up and the profitability thereby going down, the housing starts. And so you are now seeing, I'm getting feedback from the studio in the background here on our. So that back to the housing starts here that we're talking about is that you've got a lot of the amazing that we've got that going on in the background. Anyway, the other thing that I wanted to also bring about is the mortgage refinancing and refinance demand, which has been very, very hot up until now, has dropped about 39% as the rates continue to climb. And obviously, those folks that are looking at refinancing see a smaller margin of what they're able to save in their savings. The affordability coupled with the higher rates means that fewer people are able to qualify, and some may just be discouraged from applying to begin with. But like I said earlier in the program, what you need to do is find out if you do qualify, and far more people do qualify than actually realize that they do, and especially with a very competent mortgage professional. If you contact the right people, they know how to do the proper presentation of where you're at. In fact, probably with a lot of these online services that you see, that the Rocket Mortgages and the self-service mortgage portals, many times the consumers don't know the right numbers to put in, and as a result they end up shooting themselves in the foot, that otherwise people with great credit but either understate their expenses, overstate their income, and then when the right documents, if they get to that point, a lot of these are, they will predetermine the pre-qualification, and you may get yourself turned down without without putting things in the right way. So that's an important consideration, and that's why the value of a good mortgage professional is often understated. So the decline in mortgage applications, the decline in the housing, and the impending. So here is a couple of things to think about. I firmly believe that somewhere in this year, probably more towards the second half to the last quarter, I believe there's going to be an opportunity, a buying opportunity, especially for investors. For the homeowners, if you wait to that point, it's going to be the same thing you saw back in 2012 and 13 when the recovery was coming back, that there was fierce competition for people trying to buy the properties, and many first-time home buyers got left out of the race because they waited. And can you do me a favor here, because you're talking on the show here. So the opportunity here is really something that you have to look at your particular junction. What is it you're trying to do? Do the numbers make sense? Which is something that we often will help you to look at, whether the numbers do make sense. And then finally, whether the timing is right for you. So the next thing that you want to take a look at is what is the government doing right now in terms of the new stimulus. We talked about some of that yesterday with the third stimulus check. We talked about the location where the CDC was now publishing a form for those that are worried about their rental properties, if they're going to be evicted, when, and so forth. So we're going to post the site on our website, on our blog today. So at automaticlandlord.com, that's automaticlandlord.com. Go check that out later on, where we'll have, to qualify, tenants are going to need to complete the CDC eviction declaration form and then give it to their landlord, who also is going to have to sign off on it. So that's important. The form certifies that you've been specifically affected by the pandemic and that you've exhausted all other avenues for help. There's also an income requirement. So that's why this is not just an automatic. This is not a gift. This is not a vacation. It's not a freebie. But for those people who need this help, we're going to put that information on the website. Single renters, just so that you know, have to have earned less than $99,000. So there's a lot of room there. There's a lot of room. $198,000 for married couples who are working and received, and they cannot have received a stimulus payment. So that's an interesting little characteristic there. Again, get the form, go to the website that we're going to put there on our website. Renters also qualify if they were not required to report income in 2019 to the IRS. So another thing I wanted to update and share with you is that the administration has requested that Congress provide $30 billion in additional rental assistance, and that's what part of what I'm talking about here is. The proposal sets aside $25 billion of that towards direct rental relief payments to the landlords. And so stay tuned on to our website, because we're going to be talking more about that over there as well. Anyway, the music is coming in and I'm on my way out. We'll be back again the same place, same time tomorrow with a lot more information. We've got our ATM edition. That's the About the Money edition of the Real Estate Show. So join us again here, same place, same time tomorrow, as you do 5 days a week at 5 p.m. on one of those 5 different methods. Anyway, that's it for today. This is Eric Willner, your host of the Real Estate Show, signing off. Until tomorrow, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.